yeah. That music gets me jacked every week.
Doesn't it?
Hi, everybody. Well, right now it's probably just Matt. But hi, Matt, and welcome to a full year celebrating power shift rebalancing, John Cena flexing, both his muscles and his influence in the locker room. Chris Jericho rendering. What was that disgusting episode of the Brothers of Discussion? Yeah, we're gonna talk everything, literally everything you could think of. Starting with the Wednesday Night Wars, and then probably more wrestling after that. We're gonna update you on Eric Bugenhagen watch. Will we see him? I don't know. I guess I'll just keep tuning into this show to see if he comes back. Matt's got a new Undertaker Time's Up game, which I'm very excited to lose at. And, of course, in this show, I'm sure we're going to find some way, some opportunity to wax poetic about Eddie Kingston. That and maybe 4 more topics. Who knows what we can stuff into this hour of fun. Matt, it's another hot, spicy week. I'm drinking out of a glass with a tiger on it. How are things over there?
Great. I pulled out my Christmas mugs, and I found this nifty little ditty that has nothing on it. So somehow it made it into my Christmas mugs. It's just glass. Just
that looks like the top of a blender. You know, like a little one of those ninja shoot things that makes like chopped olives. Or I think I just made up a device.
No, the ninja chop. The Super Ninja Chop, right? That's what it's called. I don't know. All right, everybody, find all of our... Oh, no! Did I lose you, Mike? Oh, no!
Did you see that?
There he is.
Hey! I don't know if you can hear me. I told StreamYard to burn in hell.
Oh, no, not yet. I'll hear it later. Find everything...
piece of shit.
Find everything Brothers of Discussion. You can see it right above me. You can find us on Twitter at BOD Podcast. If you're on Facebook, you can find all of our memes and fun stuff on Instagram at brothers_of_discussion and our brand new YouTube channel. We would love for everyone to subscribe there. It'd be just the best way for you to make sure you don't miss any of the biggest stuff that comes out. We're also attached with our Red Wings rant, and we're planning to start streaming Vigi games. So that keep an eye out for that. We're practicing right now, winning war zones and posting them online after we win. So you can find them there. You can see how to win at Warzone from the Brothers of Discussion. But it's not necessarily the most fun thing in the world to watch us hide in a corner and wait till the last circle.
I thought you were going to say just win over and over and over again. It's got to get old at some point for you guys. But no, we just keep on winning.
Well, I also want to let everybody know. Let me see if I can make this a little bit more manageable. There we go. The Brothers of Discussion. BODpodcast.com is the hub for all things Brothers of Discussion. You can head on straight to our pro wrestling page and see all of our blogs and whatnot, including our series of how to watch pro wrestling. That does include have fun and removing brand loyalty from the equation. 2 of our top-rated blogs in the system. But we also have our wonderful shop. I just got my message today, Mike, that my stuff's on the way. We've got our I Listen to the Brothers of Discussion t-shirt. We have our Sisters of Discussion t-shirt. We have our Red Wings rant stuff here. We had the wonderful... Venus Blue send us her brand new Brothers of Discussion coffee mug. This thing, I can't wait to get mine. I've got one on the way. So soon I will be drinking my hot toddies out of a Brothers of Discussion mug instead of my clear glass mug. But all that can be found at bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Also, I mean, the pro wrestling page pretty much has the entire hub for, it's got our Instagram, is our posts go there, our Twitter posts go there. If you just make that your homepage, you're not going to miss a thing. So go into your Chrome set. Here we go. Go into Chrome, go into settings, go to set homepage and put bodpodcast.com/pro wrestling. And you won't miss a thing, Brothers of Discussion, because it'll be the first thing you see every time you log in. Let's get that down. Let's make this a little bit more even. Mike, I am super excited to play that Undertaker game. I gotta say, I don't usually spend too much time putting our games together. This is
Yeah.
what I'm excited for. But let's jump into the pro wrestling. Oh, I should mention too, Mike, I've started to turn our wrestling notes into blogs. So it's not just a list of the random stuff that we talk about. Last week, I won't say I went too deep into it, but I definitely made sure I put in some extra points in regards to AEW and their women's division, what we want to see, and then asking. It's okay to ask for a little bit more from Cody Rhodes and AEW, even though they're sort of being anointed as the wrestlers of the people. But I think we're already seeing some of the cracks form. So, I think as we go further along, I think the ask of Cody Rhodes and AEW is going to get a little bit stronger. We're going to want to see more, and I think we'll get deeper into it when we talk about the Wednesday Night Wars. But that's just one of the many things that are going on at brothersofdiscussion.com/bodpodcast.com. New blogs now for pro wrestling on a weekly basis outside of just the blogosphere. I'm blogging about the episodes, so you can get a little bit more Matt point of views. If you're a fan of Matt, head on over to bodpodcast.com. If you like Mike, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe there.
Yeah, we'll see where the people's loyalties lie. Fire up them YouTube views.
All right, so let's keep rolling. What do we got today, Mike? What's first on the docket?
I think just people stiff arming, using their sway, using their influence in the back, and I called it a political flex by John Cena here in the notes, because good old Jack Hager was on the unbiased, unpolitical podcast hosted by Chris Jericho himself.
He's not political, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a $3,000 tip from when he stayed at a Trump hotel and forgot to, leave a little something on the pillow after his luxurious stay. No, basically Jack was upset that John Cena refused to job for him back in 2010. Matt, hot tag.
Got it.
Boom.
It's coming.
This is like, I'm reaching. There it is. This is your hot tag.
We need a producer.
Did John Cena play it right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like everything about this, I went back and took a look at the timing. I mean, we didn't even have like a hot "We the People" Jack Hager's, you like to put it. Like, it was just pretty mild case of Jake.
Now wasn't this when he kind of had that? Was it Rage Against the Machine? Did we ever figure that out, or was it a band? Was CFO $sign doing an impression of Rage Against the Machine?
That always sounds more accurate. But yeah,
because it's a really good impression if it is.
Whatever was going on, even at the height of Jack,
listen,
it's not anything like, it's John Cena as the champion, and I think we can even see now, like, AEW doesn't have the confidence to really put him in a prominent role. I think his role, and it's fine. Mike, I'm not a pro wrestler. I'm not main eventing. It's fine. The world's fine with it. I think it's also fine that Jake Hager does pretty well in mixed martial art. He does okay in mixed martial arts. And
you should have seen the other guy.
And he's also collecting a paycheck from Tony Khan's money that he got from his father. So it's all fine. It's all fine, Mike. It's nice and dandy. Like, we don't have to get upset about this. I think it wanted to be news, and most of Twitter and social media shut it down. They were like, no, you're not calling out like one of the nicest human beings on the planet for actually making the right choice. Like, this isn't Kevin Nash saying, I need to destroy Bill Goldberg. I need to make him look silly. This was John Cena going like, I'll give him a good match, but no. Like, there's nothing.
Have you seen Randy Orton? Oh my God.
No, give me CM Punk.
I want to have a bunch of 3-second tans to that guy.
Actually, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Great point to your hot tag question. He asked for CM Punk and wanted CM Punk to win the title around the time of his contract negotiations. Like, John knew that would be money. So one of the things about like the pipe bomb timeline of CM Punk's career, some of that had to do with John Cena saying this is a good idea. So it's not like John was above. And how about John doing the Fiend, doing the Firefly Funhouse at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Like, it's just he's aware of the timing of everything, and that Firefly Funhouse match isn't as good if he's laying down for everybody to hand out titles that he has. You know what? I put it in the notes, I think, but it really turned into non-news. Like it's the right choice.
No, it just kind of jogged a few thoughts. I mean, yeah, AEW, take your Justin Roberts, take your Gold Dust, take your Mike Chiodas. What I want them to do is find out what CFO Dollar Sign's doing and sign him tonight. If I have to love MJF, but listen to that awful "I'm better than you," it's the worst. I don't. It's not even like cartoon like scene change music. It's worse than that. It's almost Seinfeld. Like if Seinfeld was kind of a dick. That's what the music sounds like. And I just feel like we've seen Triple H just take off with Motorhead. Jake Jack got a match with John Cena, and he just kind of sounded like Rage Against the Machine. So I could just imagine what MJF's popularity would be if he had either a real song, Jericho or Cody style, or if he could get a little CFO impression in there. That's what I want. I said honestly, my piece. Mike, get CFO signed.
If John had laid down to Jake Jack, honestly. Oh, I forgot about the grammar there. I'm mixed up. I should have said never mind. All right, moving right along. Mercedes Martinez sees the stupid idea from Bad Creative, or at least the shit ball that's rolling downhill that is Retribution, and how it's not really catching. It's not catching any sharp objects to cut anybody, Mike. It's just catching more poop so far. So. Despite Mustafa Ali and Ricochet's awesome match, I still don't see too much light ahead.
Ooh, I got an analogy for you.
Well,
it's like if you play Katamari, but only.
God damn it! Wait, so Mercedes Martinez is leaving Retribution. There, go ahead.
I was gonna say Retribution is like if you played that game Katamari, but only in a dog park where there's a lot of poop.
Right. Anyway. So Mercedes
roll around and you pick stuff up as you roll around. Was that too esoteric? All right, a little too private there.
Esoteric.
But yeah, Mercedes esoteric. Yeah. She had an opportunity to be on Monday Night Raw, and she said no gracias, and she took her ball and went to NXT out of obscurity, out of wearing a mask, out of listening to our beloved Dijakovic do a Bane impression, and she's just going to be part of the best women's division in the history of pro wrestling. So I think she made a good move. It's just sometimes when you set out and you Charlie Day some of the moves that WWE makes, with a series of magazine cutouts and pieces of yarn on your wall, and the day after Mercedes Martinez leaves, Retribution gets a win and starts to build themselves up with Ricochet. I know Ricochet is not, the pinnacle of, of triumph because of the way he's been booked, but he's still somehow, even with his win-loss record being what it is, he's still got it. Like, he still looks formidable. And Retribution finally got a win this Monday. So I don't know if that was you don't like how we book them? Oh, just book them to win. How about them apples? And I wouldn't be surprised if they go on like an 8-match win streak or something.
there could be something where you say, well, you should have just been a little bit more patient. But I kind of like the choice too. Like go to NXT, like get involved in what's really like the hottest thing right now. Definitely in women's wrestling. I just what is Mia Yim going to end up doing, right, on a consistent basis? So it's just I like the choice. I think it makes sense. I'm definitely losing confidence in Retribution. I loved it when it first started, and
I loved when they revealed that Ali was part of it. I was terrified when I saw that my beloved Dijakovic was part of it, and I'm hanging in there. I tried to get him to roast me, but he wanted you to buy a Retribution t-shirt or sweatshirt. And I sent him a picture. I said, what if I buy like a nice Feast Your Eyes t-shirt? What can I get for that? And
nothing.
He wasn't having it. No.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I think what we're all going to be having is a heavy dose of pre-orders on the old AEW video game. That Kenny Omega said, no? Oh, boy. Kenny Omega said it's going to be like WWF No Mercy. I like how he just put it as it's going to be like No Mercy and didn't throw in the WWs in there. Anywhoozles.
Well, it's based on some of the screenshots we saw. It looks like from WWF No Mercy.
Yeah. I think the idea here is that we don't necessarily need the best graphics. We want the best wrestling game. And I loved like I do not want to play WWE 2K because the last time I tried to get in it, I lost like my first 5 matches because I couldn't figure out how to do like the kick out of the pins.
I don't know, that time sequence never works.
Right. It had been too long, and I would lose a match on my first pin because I just wasn't paying attention. I wasn't ready, and I said, you know what? I've got other games. I'm good. So what Kenny said is this new game is going to be easy to pick up and play, but if you master it, you can truly like own at this game, which I absolutely love. I mean, essentially what we're talking about is like any of the Super Mario games, right? Like, you can pick up any Super Mario game. You can play Super Smash Brothers. You can play Mario Kart. But then, Mike, when we have a group get together and you invite over, I forget his name, but he played like Mario Kart like a fiend, man. Like it was nuts, like doing the drifting and whatnot. And I'm sitting there just going, no, you got to break. Like I can finish the race, but I'm not winning.
Yeah, our old buddy Jamil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I like that idea. I like the idea that this is something anybody can get into. I hate, like we were on our Red Wings podcast talking about the NHL video game. That is not something you can just jump into. You need to take some time to learn how to do it. Unless
you gotta use PTO to get good at that Red Wing game. Right. It's way too hard.
So let's go backwards. Let's make a game like the Nintendo 64 days. And I'm pretty sure I was in high school when that game came out. And I put a ton of time into that game. So that was something where you and I were even moving a little bit outside of the industry. We stopped watching wrestling on a regular basis, but I was addicted to that game. That says a lot.
It was a great game. And I think the other game that gets a lot of notoriety is, was it WCW versus NWO Revenge? And that was good, but, sometimes you'd pick Rey Mysterio and you couldn't, you didn't have a shot if you were fighting like Hogan or the Giant.
Right, like trying to suplex or do the body slam, and
your guy would just and he'd kind of hold his back.
Right.
But I thought No Mercy just kind of made kind of even the playing field, where regardless of shape, size, or weight, you could kind of pick up anybody. Then there was the game where they had the super heavyweights, so it kind of made an impact. But I think, No Mercy is a good way to go. And I think that I'm interested to see 2 things. One is we know a lot of those AEW guys are really into video games, so I hope that they actually do more than just look at this as a cash grab, and they actually put some some opinion on it about because we used to play these as kids and when we were traveling in hotel rooms, and this is the best way to make it. And then I'm really excited to see somebody like Xavier Woods try to play it on Twitch and get in trouble.
Right.
Play it on his YouTube channel.
I think that's a great point, because if Xavier Woods is in the room for those WWE games, it doesn't get rated, like the last one where a company like IGN rates it as one of the worst games ever at like Superman 64 level. So, which is, if anybody's familiar with going backwards in video games, Superman 64, just an unplayable mess. So that's kind of what we're talking about. I know there's a good chunk of our audience that doesn't play any video games. So long story short, I'm super excited for this game. And to compare it to one of my favorite games of all time growing up just got me excited. And I think they'll take it a step forward. Graphics-wise, gameplay-wise. Mike, I got my PlayStation 5 today. I got to tell you, that the DualSense...
What a waste of money. Oh, go ahead.
That is one of the most amazing things I've ever used in a video game. So I mean, that's something where if the technology is moving that far, then Kenny Omega just needs to get his hands on that, and that's going to be implemented into the new AEW game, because it is, Mike, I'm telling you, it's making the whole purchase of the PlayStation 5 from, I've never bought anything at launch. It's making it worthwhile. It is incredible. I don't know if you're familiar. The DualSense, everybody go Google it. That's it's a brand new controller for PlayStation 5. You can feel so much with it. It's like you can move the rumble around. It's when you do this is the best example.
Where does the rumble go?
You can move it around depending on how you're holding the remote. The best example I can give is there's a free game that comes with the PlayStation 5, and you get a bow and arrow. So when you do the trigger to pull back the bow and arrow, there's tension where there wasn't tension before. So you have to actually pull back the arrow so you can feel it on the trigger actually resist you like you're pulling back a bow and arrow. And it's smart. It's a smart function, so it changes depending on what you're doing. It's incredible. I absolutely love it.
So you're saying that there's when you manipulate the controller, there's kind of a shift in power? Huh? Tony Khan style.
Exactly.
I mean, while you're looking down at the controller, can you see your watch? Like the Bugenhagen watch? Okay, I'm teasing some segments. Matt, to Tony Khan, when he said he was going to shift the balance of power, it sounded like something otherworldly was going to happen. Was it just the video game, or was he talking about Pac returning?
I guess, yeah, to spoil later in our show when we discuss Pac, but that's what he meant, and it was such a bummer. It's one thing
because I was watching it on Hulu Live, and my TV was doing fine until.
Oh shit! And I just lost you. Are you there, Mike? I can't hear you. All right, so I'm guessing you just try and talk again. There you are. I see you.
I see you now too. It died for just a second.
Yeah, there you are.
Thank you, StreamYard. It's determined to make sure we don't get any followers. Thank you.
But you were saying you're watching Hulu Live for AEW, and this was something for me where I saw the video pop up where Tony ran out into the audience and told everyone, please don't leave. This is going to be a great night, which to me says that some people might have been getting bored and we're like, all right, I'm ready to go home. This isn't really worth COVID. But I saw that video and I said, you don't see that every day. You don't see a promoter run out and make sure the fans don't miss it because he's so sure that this is going to just blow up the wrestling world. Now, Mike, if we were one of those wonderful journalists that gets to attend the AEW press conferences and isn't one of the bloggers that gets cease and desist notices from AEW, I'm sure right now we'd be bouncing off the walls for Pac. Mike, a guy that's already wrestled for the company making his return is not at all shifting the balance of power, in my opinion. Mike, if anything, I am more mad at AEW for playing into the WWE games that we already hate, and we were just flat out lied to. And I hope that people are starting to see why I wrote a blog titled "Stop Being Loyal to These Stupid Brands and Just Trust the Wrestlers."
Yeah, I mean, I love Pac. I was crestfallen when he didn't pan out in WWE for whatever reason. Maybe it was Enzo Amore being the cruiserweight champion. But I just mean, like, he was excellent NXT. He was their champion, and then he got called up, and he was always, cast to the side, dumped unceremoniously in my Royal Rumbles.
Yeah.
Never a true player in the main event scene. And then he, gets to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond in AEW. And, we haven't seen enough of him. I'm excited to see more of him. But I think part of the problem was that just the way they booked this AEW after Full Gear, it seems like they do this every time, where after a pay-per-view, like, the next Dynamite is always just a little lackluster. Because it kind of feels like that. It doesn't feel like page one of a book, where, some crazy, I don't know, murder happens, or a dinosaur pops out and you're like, well, I'm in this world now. It feels like page 3 where they're like, here's the copyrights and here's the trademarks coming up that you're going to want to learn about for the next 400 pages or so. That's neat. The book was dedicated to, Patsy McGee, my wife. And I'm always just puzzled, like, that's how they book their next show. And I just, if you watched all of Dynamite, what that company needs to do is just go all in, Full Gear, Double or Nothing on Eddie Kingston. Because he was the most fascinating part of Full Gear. His 2 segments that he had just got me super geeked for his best friend fighting Ray Phoenix. He sells a match in like 3 sentences. And I was like, well, I'll be goddamned. I guess I'm going to sit here and, listen. I'm going to be excited just to hear Eddie Kingston say, my best friend is fighting Ray Phoenix 5,000 or 6,000 times during that match. He got me geeked, and I gotta say, this is a perfect first feud back for Pac to see him go up against Eddie Kingston. But it's almost like too many eggs in one basket, because you got the returning guy and you got Kingston, who's just selling tickets, selling T-shirts. He's just so goddamn charismatic. I can't wait to see more of him. So that's the only thing I would change. So shift of power, shift it over to Eddie Kingston, Tony Khan. Give him more responsibility.
Yeah, like that would be something. Like, if we saw a brand new champion, if something like that was going down, like, that's a shift in power. If all of a sudden, like, contracts went out the window and we saw Roman Reigns walk in, then we'd be like, oh shit, wrestling just changed, man. Roman Reigns said, I don't care anymore about my WWE contract. Tony Khan's going to pay for all my litigations, and I'm going to AEW. Like, that would have been major. The guy who's already bet on the show a bunch of times, nope. Unless it was something where Tony went, Shaq didn't do it? Fuck. All right, well, something else is happening tonight, folks, so hang around.
Yeah.
Any hoozles.
So, I mean, in the short term, I love Pac, but I think if they really wanted to shift the balance of power, they should have maybe gone in on Kingston this past Saturday.
Hey, just a quick shout out to Dave, who just showed up. Dave, how are you doing? Dave, I hope this is a good time now that you're here. We are going to do a live watch along November 25th. If you want to join us, you can go to bodpodcast.com and sign up, and we'll send you the Zoom invite. But we want to get everybody together to watch AEW and NXT the night before Thanksgiving to kind of do let's stay home on what's supposed to be the biggest bar night of the year. Because, Mike, we just had 148,000 cases of COVID yesterday. So let's cut back on that number. Let's stay home on November 25th. And that's how we want to do it. So, Dave, I'm glad that you're here. We'd love to have you on November 25th. We're going to have some giveaways, surprises, and we're going to play some games. I'm going to hint today at what those games are going to be at the live viewing party. So yeah, you guys want to hit it up. You can find the event in Facebook through the Brothers of Discussion, or you can go to bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Dave thrown in there. Moxley won. We're gonna get into the Wednesday Night Wars in a minute there, Dave. We're kind of bummed, but hopefully, I think there's more to get from the Kenny Omega Moxley, right? That battle for the AEW championship. But moving on, Mike, it's time to discuss. We're how many weeks now? 4 weeks into this. It's a travesty. I don't know how else to say it at this point. It's been 646 days, ladies and gentlemen, since one of the greatest debuts in definitely NXT history. And I will say one of the greatest because it wasn't one of those where Nakamura is making his debut. It's a guy not known. It's a guy who isn't coming in with all that fanfare. And if you don't remember what it looked like, here it is.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 240 pounds, Eric Bugenhagen.
Mike, it was Eric Bugenhagen. As we've talked about now for almost a month, it's been 646 days since his debut. This guy puts in the work. Mike, we've had the ads now on our Twitter. We want Triple H to see this. We want Shawn Michaels to see it. We want to make sure that you guys are sharing it. We watched him, Mike, during the beginning of the COVID shows, just going nuts in the stands. He's doing the work. He's doing the job. We know that he can actually put on a good show. Like, he got encore performances at NXT shows. So what is going on? Why is he not on our TVs? I'm not going to stop pushing this until we see Bugenhagen again. There's room for him. Squeeze him in there. Get Boog, whatever. If we're going to call him Boogs, if we're going to call him Rick, whatever. I want Bugenhagen on my TV.
I don't care if they call him Boobs from now on. Just get him on my TV. I have never in my life, I've seen dark matches. I've been to hillbilly wrestling. I've never, ever in my life seen an encore request until Eric Bugenhagen walked into our lives. Until he air guitared into our lives. Until he air drummed into our lives. Until he pierced our ears with his high notes into our lives.
Yeah, we got to start doing that.
He's at home working on his guitar. He's at home fighting a wet noodle because nobody else has the guts to fight him, man. It's just that wet noodle. I don't know what he has to do to get on TV. I don't know what kind of injury he could possibly have that put him on the shelf for 2 years.
I haven't had you on the video for quite a while.
That's okay. I'm just a voice in the darkness, just like Eric Bugenhagen. I'm just on the peripheral. Matt is the NXT ring, and I'm just out here for myself. There we go. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're hiring for producers. You'd be technically an intern because we have no money, but we'd love to have some producers.
Hey, if you're tired of my feed cutting out, you know what? Call Xfinity customer service and tell them to fuck off. I'm literally sitting next to my router. This is bullshit.
I like the idea of a Brothers of Discussion fan yelling, fuck off, and then hanging up and just...
We got another one. It's another one of those damn Brothers of Discussion people. They're drinking hot toddies out of their merchandise swag mug.
All right, Mike, we have a brand new game. I'm hoping everybody's excited to play because this is something you could play along as you listen. Let's jump in.
Well, all right, the Undertaker can't play the real song because we'll get sued again. But I love that one. It sounds like he's marrying. I don't know if that's the song when he got the Sarah tattoo removed. That's kind of what it sounded like. Just kind of.
That's what I looked up. Removal of Sarah tattoo in Adobe, and that's what popped up. So that's a good call. All right, Mike, here's how you play the Undertaker's Time Is Up. We're going to take a look at the timeline of the Undertaker, and you've got to tell me who his opponent was. All right? Sounds
okay.
easy enough, but what I'm going to give you is a category. Okay?
Okay.
Let me adjust my screen here. And I'm going to list off the 5 categories, and I need you to put them in order for how many clues you are going to need for each category. And I will be more than happy to repeat everything because this is a little complicated. Now, when I list off the hints that you'll get to name who the opponent was, remember that when you list these categories in order from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, number 5, you're going to get all of the hints. But number 1, you're only going to have the category name. Alrighty? So I'm going to, when you're ready, if you feel ready, if those rules make sense, because actually, let me tell you, what you're going to get as hints are a full description without the use of names. So I will say redacted instead of the name. You'll get a full description. You'll get the pay-per-view, the year it happened, and the Meltzer star rating.
Can I make one suggestion?
Sure.
Now, redacted makes perfect sense, and it makes this as self-explanatory as possible. But if you could, just one of them, instead of the word redacted, can you say Eric Bugenhagen?
Sure.
So I could pretend Undertaker fought Eric Bugenhagen at WrestleMania 26?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. As Bugenhagen watch continues. All right, here we go.
All right, you ready for those category names? Again, you're going to hear the category name. It's going to reference what's going on in this match or who's in the match. And you're going to use that to rank them from number 5 being you get the most amount of hints, number 1 being the least amount of hints, just being the category name. Ready?
All right, I'm ready for my first one.
We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have.
Ooh.
All right. Brick killed a guy. Brick killed a guy. Okay. Milk was a bad choice. Milk was a bad choice. Remember, you're just giving me the opponent. This one, just ready. This is what it's called. Goat. Goat. And the last one.
That sounds like when he fought Maven, but I don't want to put my guess in too early. All right, go ahead, Matt.
And the last one is, hi, brother.
Oh.
So, you need to rank those 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can, if you want, I can give you time. If you want to write these down, everything you need. I love this game so much. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable. Let me repeat them one more time. And if you want to shout out how many you think you're going to need, and the second you say 5, you can't use 5 again. You can only use 4 clues. But we've got, we're the 3 best friends that anyone could have. Brick killed a guy. Milk was a bad choice.
Okay.
Goat. And hi, brother.
All right. I'm going to start with Milk was a bad choice with just the category.
You just need the category. Okay.
That's all I need. So
that's your number 1.
I'm guessing the wrestler. And
wait.
I'm guessing.
So we're going to, I want to do, if you want to do that right now, we can do it. And then we'll go backwards and say, then I'll give you 2 clues for your next one. Do you want to do it that way?
Okay. I thought I could guess how many clues I need to guess on that particular one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Yeah, give me the milk one.
You want no clues.
All right, maybe I should learn the game first. All right, for the brothers one, give me 2 clues. I have a feeling it's Kane, but I don't know if I need to.
Well, I want you to go in order with what you think you need 5 clues for.
What do I need 5 clues for? I think the first one.
We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have?
Yeah.
All right. Let me scroll up here. Mike, this was WrestleMania 28 in 2012. Dave Meltzer gave it a 4.75.
Okay.
Here's all 5 of your clues. So the last one here is WWE went all out to try and stack the deck for this match, having Redacted Wrestle Redacted inside a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, with Redacted as the special guest referee. Despite some over-the-top drama that bordered on campiness, they delivered a truly memorable performance that was billed as being the end of an era. Mike, we're the three best friends that anyone could have. You just wasted your 5-clue.
What a bummer. I didn't realize that one was going to be so easy.
Who's Undertaker's opponent?
I wish I could have stopped you. That was Triple H with special guest referee Michael Lincolnbottom.
Yeah, you got it. All right, that's your.
Who managed to keep an eye on both wrestlers at the same time. Not a lot of referees can do that.
Oh, Mike,
you've got one on Triple H and one on the Undertaker.
You've got Brick killed a guy, Milk was a bad choice, Goat, and Hi, Brother. If you feel confident too, you can name these. Now that I'm.
All right, I think the Milk one. If that's not Kurt Angle, then I will go hatless the rest of this episode.
You got it, Kurt Angle. Mike, you're 2 for 2. All right, Mike. So now we've got Brick.
Keeping my hat.
Brick killed a guy, Goat, and Hi, Brother.
All right, Hi, Brother has to be. That's got to be Kane.
Do you want some clues for that one?
Did I guess correctly?
Do you want some clues for that one?
Are you leading the witness?
Yes.
All right, give me.
Why don't we go 4 clues?
4 clues? Wow, it's that hard? Okay.
Well,
give me 4 clues on. Brother, let's get some juice.
Mike, this was 1997. Yeah. In Your House, Bad Blood. Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Who is the opponent in Hi, Brother?
Kane?
No. Oh, no.
Well, Kane. I thought he was had Bad Blood. Oh, is it Stone Cold?
No.
Oh, you're saying that's when Kane came out and he said, Hi, brother. Oh, yep. God damn it. I got a Kane question wrong.
That was Shawn Michaels was the opponent at Bad Blood 1997.
Oh.
The pressure got to him, everybody. I mean, technically, that's the end of the game because you can only win if you get all 5.
No. We wasted all those questions you worked so hard on.
All right, so obviously this needs some kinks worked out. I think I
should be able to stop you like after. All right, here's a clue, and I could say, all right, I'm good on that one, right?
Yeah, no? I think the way I want to do it is I'm going to give you the category, and I'm going to give you a clue, and we'll just keep running. And then if you use all 5 clues, then you can't use those 5 again.
All right.
Do you want to try the last 2 just for funsies?
Yeah, the Brick one, I had no chance. I don't know what that was about.
Brick killed a guy. Yeah. All right. Oh wait, I didn't have that marked down here. Oh, here we go. Mike, this was King of the Ring, 1998, 4.5 stars. The Undertaker's King of the Ring match in 1998, 4.5 stars, called Brick Killed a Guy. Do you want the description?
Give me the Eric Bugenhagen description, please.
This is a strange one to do because it has very little to do with Redacted. Perhaps the most memorable match in the last 30 years of pro wrestling. The most memorable match, Mike. The last 30 years of pro wrestling. The ungodly bumps and punishment that Eric Bugenhagen took in this match would and should never be repeated. Could this match have been the exact same if you swapped Redacted with Redacted? Yeah, probably. But it is still a Redacted match, and no retelling of his career is complete without mentioning it.
Mike, oh my God. So
the most memorable match in pro wrestling history, pretty much, is what we're talking about.
I didn't realize that. You said that was at King of the Ring?
King of the Ring, 1998.
Wow. So that was Mankind?
Yeah, you got it.
Wow. I didn't realize that was at King of the Ring.
Oh, my God.
I forgot.
I thought you were going to get that one wrong. Jesus.
That was a Apashango.
All right, and Goat, you want that one?
Was that? I'll let you do it. Also, right. If I could hear the clues with Eric Bugenhagen, thank you.
Yeah, WrestleMania 25, 2009, 4.75 stars from Meltzer. Sometimes this match gets hyped up so much that it becomes the most almost impossible for its expectations to be met. This was not one of those matches because despite sky-high expectations, Eric Bugenhagen and Redacted rubber stamped their legacy as two of the greatest performers in WWE history with a sensational back-and-forth match. In some ways, the match was almost too good. It raised the standards of future Redacted WrestleMania matches to levels that he couldn't reach.
I mean, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, you got it.
But you were redacting Undertaker as well?
Yeah, should I not redact Undertaker in the future?
Yeah, I feel like how many people are in these matches? Thank you, Dave. Unless he's being sarcastic, then I'm like, hey, come on, Dave. I got like three of them.
No, I think Dave's on your side. Thanks,
Dave. I appreciate the support.
This wasn't meant to, like, I don't want to give you a category. I thought Hi Brother was actually too easy. I thought you'd say, oh, we bet Kane.
Yeah, that was a good trick. You got me on that one. But I'm prepared for next week if you do it again.
Right. I like the sound of that. I think we did all of them, right? Hi Brother, Goat, Milk was a bad choice. You got right without any clues. So you got one right with taking out everything. Brick killed the guy, Mankind. And so I thought about saying he killed him, and I was like, no, that'll give it away. So I said Brick killed the guy because I did the hybrid. Okay, let's move on because now we've been talking for an hour and we
like to see how the sausage is made. How was Matt deliberating how to name the categories in his new favorite game? So Matt, that was Undertaker's time is up.
Yeah,
Matt, let's see the graphic and the music one more time. I don't know why. Can you do it one more time? I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
all right, sorry. That's enough because everybody, it's time for the Wednesday Night Wars.
Let's do it.
All right, Mike, I had NXT as always. You had AEW.
As always.
You know what? I know you were saying before, like AEW maybe overpromises the day after pay-per-views or the show after pay-per-views. I thought this was a really great Dynamite. The opening match with Cage and Seidel was great. The main event was fantastic with Penta and Phoenix. I really loved it. I honestly thought we were going to be on the same page and just go AEW won the day. Even though, like what I'm dubbing today, last night's Wednesday Night Wars, I thought was, I think we're 2 weeks in a row now. This is one of the best nights we've had of pro wrestling because it was amazing on NXT. But I just don't know if it can beat Pac showing up, even though it's not changing pro wrestling forever. Like, it didn't reach that heights, but that's not how you win a Wednesday Night Wars.
I will say that the contributions from the women's division were a lot stronger this week than we've seen in some past weeks. Whether it was Jade Cargill coming in, Brandy getting a few words in edgewise, which definitely makes the top 3 of this week's list, and then Ty Conti and Red Velvet actually had a banger. I really loved Red Velvet. And then we got to, of course, here Jim Ross. We'll get to it. We'll get. I'm very excited to share. It's gonna be. I don't know if it's a game or a Bugenhagen, more along the lines of the Bugenhagen watch, but just JR commenting on the women wrestling. But Matt, so based on what you're saying, and you know what, you're reselling me on this AEW Dynamite. Did Dynamite take the win this week?
I think so. I'm gonna go first here with NXT.
All right, so here's what we do, guys. Dave knows. He's here. Top 3 moments, and of course we include a dishonorable mention right before our number ones. Matt, moment number 3 from Never Exert Your Turds. Here we go. Matt, moment number 3, NXT.
Number 3. You know what? Let me get so everybody knows. That's what we're doing.
Also, Dave, if you have a acronym for what the hell NXT means, I think we need some help because my Never Exert Your Turds was like a C-. If you got something better, I want to see.
I thought that was pretty good. My number 3 was I'm going to go with the main event on NXT because I liked a couple other things that happened during the show quite a bit more. But yeah, Breezango versus Oni and Lorcan and Danny and Birch.
All four of them.
I'm putting it at all 6 of them. I'm putting that at number 3 instead of number 1, despite it being the main event, and it's one of my favorite NXT tag teams. Again, not Breezango, Lorcan and Birch, one of my favorite NXT tag teams. I couldn't have been happier when they were crowned NXT tag champions. I'm writing a blog right now, Mike. I'm almost done. I started it a week and a half ago about the top NXT tag team champions, and it was inspired by Lorcan and Birch getting the victory. So you'll see in there me waxing poetic about how much I love them and what their chase for the titles has looked like so far, and all of the disappointments, the injuries that have kind of held them back. So I'm hoping this is lengthier, and I'm getting that. Because what happened was Drake Maverick gets involved for Killian Dane's head getting smashed in by Pete Dunne a week ago. And Pete Dunne takes out Drake Maverick. Then Pat McAfee kind of like the doors are open for him to interfere, and he gets in the way. And our victors are Lorcan and Birch, which I can't not put that on my list of favorite things or top 3 things in NXT. Because I'm very selfish and I put my favorite wrestlers always in my top 3. So I have to side with one of my favorite tag teams of all time. But here, Dave got back with us. Night Extreme Total. I like that. We're mixing up like the Total Impact, Total Nonstop Action from the old TNA days. I like that, Dave. That's a good one.
I can definitely hear Triple H coming out. We want to thank you, the Night Extreme Total Universe. When he's is he opening up a phone book? What's he doing?
I think he just does that exercise too often that becomes the old like how I put my hand up at my face. But anywho, I gotta say there's some better things to come. I think with number 2 and number 1. But Mike. If you want to take over here on number 3.
Yeah, much like Triple H opening an ancient tome to read some epic poetry. Right where I left my bookmark. My number 3 from All Elite Wrestling. No non-elites allowed. Matt, I gotta say, because I don't get to do this very often. We're going to juggle this list up a little bit. All right. Moment number 3 was my buddy, my best friend. That's my best friend. Penta El Zero Miedo. Fucking, what was that? Want to run that by us one more time, Mike? Penta El Zero Miedo. Zero Miedo means no fear. They do it a lot. You're going to hear it a lot. Just getting pumped up by Eddie Kingston. He's one of those wonderful minds, the kind of salesman that could sell the ketchup popsicles to people in white gloves. In the spirit of the great Ali G, he could sell ice cream gloves to Donald Trump. He sold a Penta and Phoenix match with no fanfare, no preparation, in roughly 3 sentences, Matt. Roughly 10 words a sentence, so roughly 30 words. I was in hook, line, and sinker to watch. What I thought would be good, just cranked up to 11 just because of Eddie Kingston's intensity, ferocity, and charisma. I think we agree that Full Gear was an excellent pay-per-view. Almost they killed it in basically every match. But Moxley he's such a great representative for what you want in a wrestler. Like he's willing to just destroy his body. He even does it in the weekly, Dynamite episodes when he wrestles. But to kind of have an opportunity to reset and not feel like what's this guy doing being the champion? I really think Eddie Kingston would have he has the confidence to have pulled it off. So I think it's one little misstep there by AEW not pulling the trigger on that guy. So I hope they realize what an asset they have. They keep giving him TV time. They keep giving him a microphone and just get out of the way because he is an incredible talent. And I hate that it's been so many wasted years. We could have been Eddie Kingston fans, but not until he hit the stage at All Elite did we discover him. So it's my moment number 3, but yeah.
You got to throw out there too, David, saying you've got All Extreme winners for, and I don't know what your number 2 is, but we could have saved that in case you were going to pick the Natural Nightmares defeating Butcher and the Blade, because that was extreme. And of course you'd be referencing the Natural Nightmares, but I just want to throw that out there because I like Dave. Dave, you are honestly, you could work for Doritos in like the early 2000s because that extreme was all over Doritos marketing. So I want to get you in there, man. Because that extreme is what brought to mind that Natural Nightmares versus Butcher and the Blade. I don't know, Mike, is that making it your number 2? Did I just ruin that transition?
You did not, but you did make me think about, I don't know why, but remember 3D Doritos?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I thought of Extreme Doritos, and then 3D Doritos came to mind too.
I was just like, you know what? I'm walking away from Doritos. I'm done. And then Doritos is like, hold on, we're gonna make them an extra dimension. And I'm like, what? I'm back.
Well, we've got a number 2 segment on NXT this week as we continue the Wednesday Night Wars. Mike, I'm going Candice LeRae and Toni Storm. That's right. You gotta love Toni Storm right now. I couldn't be more excited to see her on my TV.
No, man, hot take.
You know, here we go.
God damn it, Chris. All right. Now, is every match against Toni Storm a handicap match because she's bringing the goods behind her? The people want to know. The people. Hey, I asked you a question, man. It's a valid question.
She has really nice buns.
Whoa! I meant wrestling gear. Jeez, man.
Oh, you
get
pervert.
Your head out of the gutter.
Shut up. You're such a jerk.
I'm just saying. You can, we acknowledge Brian Cage. He's got a bod. That's what Taz says. Look at that. Look at those muscles. Look at those traps.
Yeah, but I'm gonna just say yes. Toni Storm is very.
I was trying to catch you in a Jim Ross right there, but I wasn't able to do it. I couldn't snare you.
All right, I'm kicking you out. All right, so number 2, Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, with Indy Hartwell revealing herself as is it Ghostface, Mike? What's the scream?
Oh, I'm needed all of a sudden.
Yeah, I need you again. Is it Ghostface? Is that
what am I, Jade McCargill? What's going on here? Am I off the stage until you summon me? Brandy Rhodes, Maddie Rhodes over there? Oh, you need something? What do you need, Maddie Rhodes?
If you're a Brandy Rhodes, you'd come out there and do something racist. All right.
You know what, Heffa? You got something to say to me, Heffa?
Hey, all right. Andre's coming in with.
Now Andre comes in. Toni Storm, excuse me. Here I am.
I could watch Toni Storm make pancakes. She's hotter than a Mexican summer. Holy shit, Andre. All right. I gotta calm down.
Andre just parachutes in, bloop, and then that's all. He just a hilarious dropping. Thank you, Andre.
No, but I mean, come on, like it's fine, right? Like we would talk about. You mentioned it, Brian Cage. He's hot for someone. Like somebody else is probably really like looking at him. But Toni, yeah, she's fantastic. I don't know how to take this conversation. I don't know what to do.
What if Sonny Kiss was a girl? Toni Storm.
That is a great way to put it. Yep. Toni Storm is the Sonny Kiss of NXT women's division.
I'm sure we can all agree on that. No more need be said.
Anyways, great match. I'm glad that they're actually telling stories in the women's division. So I guess all of that, all those nice sentiments I wanted to put out there are overshadowed by a moon. Oh,
Well,
all right, Mike. What's number? God damn it, number 2 on AEW. Go for it. Let's get out of that. Let's get out of the Tony Storm realm for a minute.
I do wish that we had Mauro Ranallo still, because at the next pay-per-view it's going to be Ember Moon versus Tony Storm, who has a moon. Just I miss that guy so much. Vic Joseph, I'm sorry, I'm not in yet. I'm out. Moment number 2. We don't get to say this very often. Now, I had some critics on the Facebook group who were quick to throw some shade at my complimentary words for this match, but I'm putting it on the list because I'm so tired of tuning in every week and the women are not given anything to chew on. With zero to little fanfare, if any. Ty Conti, who you may know as Tainara Conti when she was in NXT. She was in the Mae Young Classic, which Jim Ross came this close to saying on last night's AEW. Well, I called her when she's in a certain tournament. She was wrestling in a tournament. And you just heard Shivani just have to exhale. And then,
did it sound something like this, where it was like he's grabbing the microphone away from
you heard him flick the mute, so you couldn't hear Jim Ross. There's another classic Ross line on this match too. Because he goes, Ty Conti, a real unique fighter that we don't have a lot of here in AEW. She's from Brazil. Shivani goes, yeah, she's also an accomplished mixed martial artist and master black belt. So did you want to mention the master black belt? Oh, yeah, you don't want to forget that master black belt. She also, hits pretty hard, too. Like, really? You're going to leave it at she's Brazilian? That's the unique part of her character? Oh, my goodness. So, but there's great parts of this match. Red Velvet sold like a mother flipper. And it just, the match had such a great back and forth. I don't know when these women had time to build this kind of chemistry, because they never get to wrestle, not in front of us. But Velvet was just bouncing, bumping, taking everything Conti had to offer. And they still, I know they had to do the picture-in-picture. They just do it to the poor women every single week on this program. But Velvet was still eating all this offense and kicking out and, giving you that hero's, one last shot, that one little bit of hope. And it was a treat to see. And it didn't feel rushed. It wasn't one of those 3-minute matches that actually got like a commercial and a half. So I'm proud of the way they were able to just take that, just turn that spotlight and look at us. We can do this. Please let us be on TV. We're very good at our job. And they did not disappoint in the, almost 15 minutes that they got of a 2-hour program. So bravo to them. That's my moment number 2.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting too. It got such a low grade across the boards. Like if you're talking Bleacher Report or Wrestling Inc., they just weren't fans of it. And I that was one of the matches I sat up and watched. I wasn't bored of it at all. So I'm kind of curious what's going on there, especially Bleacher Report being in the pockets of AEW, and you could see they're grading things certain ways. So knowing that Bleacher Report is in the pockets of AEW because they have their BR Live where they do the pay-per-views, yeah. I'm concerned how high the grades are for the men's division. And when the women's division turns out a good match, they grade it poorly. So I'm just saying that's what happened. Obviously, I think everybody knows where my head's at, and we heard what Cody Rhodes said last week about the women's division. So I'm worried about what's going on, in the wrestling media.
Yeah.
And shoot, I mean, Mike, we're pretty critical of AEW week to week, and I don't hear anybody else saying that they got cease and desist from AEW for talking about their product and helping sell the pay-per-views. But here we are. Anyway, my dishonorable mention this week is kind of tough because I liked everything in NXT. Like I told you, I think AEW had the better segments, and they were so good that it should win the Wednesday Night Wars this week. But I think it's fair. I think if I forced a dishonorable mention with segments that I genuinely liked, it doesn't make any sense. Because even though, like, I'll take this moment right now to talk about how excited I am for the Xia Li potential story. That could eventually be a dishonorable mention because they don't execute correctly. But this is something where Boa is now coming out and delivering messages to Raquel Gonzalez. We don't know where Xia Li is, but she's getting these messages from, whoever this mysterious, the mystery guy is that walked out to the ring to approach Boa. And, it's just good that they're taking the time. They're going to build something that looks like it's going to be a long story in the women's division that has nothing to do with the championship. It's fantastic. So I maybe the dishonorable mention is this not happening before, right? But it's not my number one segment, Mike. Number one in NXT this week, Dexter Lumis, Timothy Thatcher, my two favorite guys on the NXT roster, going at it again. These guys are going to end up being the Keith Lee and Dijakovic of this generation, the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. Like they're perfect for this new generation of NXT.
They're going to be like Corey Graves and Bo Dallas.
You know what? I mean, I guess that makes sense when you go back and look at the.
I just wanted to see if I could throw you off on that one. But yeah, go ahead.
What's funny is doing all that NXT tag team research. You see how involved Corey Graves was in the tag team division. But anyway, let's get back to this. This is such a great rivalry that I hope they're setting up for the long term. Because Dexter, obviously, I mean, it's plain as day. Like the cadence that he has in his fighting style is so unique. I can't get enough of it. Like it's still got like that Undertaker approach where a lot of it is, he'll take the pain, but he's going to walk through it, and he is walking up to you to give the next hit. He's not necessarily like exerting too much energy in between strikes, and it just feels like this. He's got this aura about him, but he's also a smart performer. Like it's like he's saving it because he's going to go all in on the strike or all in on whatever the combination move is. So all that being put together, Dexter Lumis is one of my favorite wrestlers on NXT. But you like the amateur wrestling style mixed into what everything that Timothy Thatcher does, and the fact that is his character, and he gives a wrestling class once a week on NXT is amazing. And that's getting mixed in where other wrestlers are starting to get mad during his wrestling classes and they want to start a feud with him. This really is, it's something where right now their stories only collided because of what was going on in the single show. And you and I have talked about before how amazing that is. In a single show where you tell that one story that can actually culminate in that show, start and finish. So you kind of get like that indie show vibe. You get like that one-off vibe. That's fantastic, but I just hope that this is another like notch to make sure this feud burns really hot. And whenever they do get into like a championship feud or there's something going on in a tournament and these two are going to face off, because they could face off forever. The end of this match with Thatcher's roll-up mixed with the amateur wrestling style was one of the best roll-up pins I've ever seen coming through submission holds. And, they're going to wrap the entire story, the entire segment into this fight between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes. And a lot of people were boohooing that. But Cameron Grimes does need a player like Dexter Lumis to help get him over. Because I've been saying for a long time, Grimes needs the TV time to get over. He is the Miz level. He's MJF level. They just need to trust him and give him that time. So I'm okay with Cameron kind of ending what could have been match of the night for the Wednesday Night Wars. But all that mixed together, I'm still standing pretty firm that this was the challenger to the number one moment in AEW. I think AEW took the night, but this has to be up there for everybody. And we've been saying it for months now, but if you're not paying attention to Thatcher and Lumis, and thank God like NXT, Triple H, Shawn Michaels are listening to us because we've been asking for this to turn into a feud. It definitely is going to be a long-term thing. I see these guys clashing a ton as we move forward. And my other ask to the wrestling universe is to just sit back and enjoy it. Like, don't get bored of this. Like, there's an art to the idea that Cameron Grimes is the one that helped end this match. You don't want to get the singles one-off yet with these two, because it is going to be amazing once they continue to build these characters and maybe a title gets involved. But yeah, easy pick for me to be number one. I think everybody can hear how excited I get.
You made me think of something though. You posted on social media about, let's get a new Dexter Lumis t-shirt, as he's doing his art every week. But it kind of made me think about when we would watch in the Attitude Era and everybody didn't just have, like, you go on the WWE shop now and it's just like there's a black t-shirt and then they just copy and paste a different square with like, here's Bray Wyatt, here's Ali, here's Ricochet, and it's just, these awful cookie cutter, pieces of merchandise. And we used to do things like DX had glow sticks, and you could buy Mankind socks. You could get like those big billowy shirts like The Rock. You could get like Judas Priest vests like Stone Cold. And I kind of wish that we could get back to that. And Dexter Lumis, my one for him, it's not crazy over the top, but just a little bit different style. So it's not just the same copy paste crap on every piece of merchandise. Matt, would you buy like a one of his Henleys with maybe like a very subtle outline of like his face or his mustache or something on there? Just something a little bit different. I think that the Henley would be a cool look to see on the shop. Henley? That's that he wears that sometimes to the ring. It's like it's almost like a polo shirt without the collar. So it's got the buttons going up because he's trying to look like Dexter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd buy one of those. I think when I referenced buying a new Dexter t-shirt every week, I wanted it to just be like that artwork that he does to help tell stories. Yeah. Well,
I like the things that are unique to the character too, so I think that's a good idea, but I just wish they'd branch out just like that much.
All right, Mike. Yep, it's time for your dishonorable mention.
Dishonorable mention. Well, that's easy peasy. It was a weird ass segment with Cody Rhodes and Jay Cargill.
Nice.
It's just, I get what they were trying to do, but ultimately it was leading to a tease for Shaquille O'Neal. I guess it sounded like Jade at the end of her promo said, "You better watch out for giants, giant killer, Shaq." And then
right. Shaq,
like Shaquille O'Neal, like, there's like when Shaq was dominant in the like 1993 and 94 with the Magic, much like that moment at a couple WrestleManias ago when The Rock said, there's going to be a bunch of Rock babies. Starting in about 1994, the name Shaquille really took off, and they're Shaq babies all over the country now. They're all over the sports world. So there's tons of Shaqs to be had. So I don't know which of those Shaqs is coming for Cody Rhodes, but could be one of many Shaqs. So I don't think that name is unique as she thought, that you can just, it's not Seal anymore. There's one Seal. There's tons of Shaqs. So I don't know who's coming out to give Cody Rhodes hell. I don't know. Maybe it's Shaquille O'Neal. I know it's not Seal.
The photo, I mean, I don't know if you're serious now, but it definitely is Shaq.
Maybe. It could be Photoshop, Matt. But what they're doing is they're all on TNT, so it's probably going to be some ridiculous NBA thing to cross-promote. And
I'm surprised they're not waiting till the next NBA season to do that.
Well, I think what they're doing, like the draft's coming up, and then the NBA offseason arguably gets more viewership than the regular season. So they really want to cash in on, free agency and player movement and all that stuff. So I get why they're doing it, but this is a real WWE move of them. So anyway,
can I pose, Mike? Let me do this. Hot tag
it.
One of our buddies on Twitter at the Mr. D81.
Mr.
Pointed,
D. I like
he
that.
pointed out his name is Wear a Mask, Dumbass. I really like that. Also, when I tweeted out
It's
about
a good handle.
My PlayStation 5, he tweeted me a GIF that he was going to rob me. So I thought that was pretty funny. But he said Brandy cut a promo using a black scent that came across as not authentic in a segment with another black woman for the entertainment of white people. It's not misogynistic to hold her accountable for it. So
well,
I hadn't given that any thought. I will say at the Mr. D81 is black, so that might be why I hadn't given it any thought, because I'm not doing the right things as to look at it from a different viewpoint. So I read that and I went, holy crap, that's true. Brandy has a regular voice that we've seen every night on AEW, and all of a sudden, because she's spitting for her man, she does again as at the Mr. D81 put out there, using this accent to help sell this promo. So should we hold Brandy accountable for that? Is that going too far? Because Mike, I mean, wouldn't the equivalent would be if I was fighting with someone in a bar and they happened to be French Canadian, so I started throwing a French Canadian accent at them to like get back at them. Is that, maybe that's not the equivalent, but it's just it's someone changing their voice to help sell a point is kind of what we saw.
I think if you go down that road, you're giving Brandy a lot of credit for being a hell of a thespian to just suddenly drop her public arena voice and just like go, hot and get, red-blooded in somebody's face with emotion and anger and tenacity. So I think I didn't jump to that conclusion. I feel like the other Brandy is the voice that is maybe the persona. That's the mask that she wears to be the corporate face for AEW. And I'm not saying that the portrayal she did yesterday is her 100% true self, but I just think that it was so energetic and it just came off as so authentic. I can't wait to see her fight in some capacity with Jade. And I don't know if we've ever seen those kind of chops come out of her before, like that kind of like, oh my God, I think she's gonna kill this woman. Like she had some real anger for Cody getting badmouthed in the ring and challenged and unpantsed, emasculated by this woman, and it felt like Brandy really came out to oh hell no, and she just came out and gave her like some Stone Cold Steve Austin, the first thing I want done is that piece of trash out of my ring. And maybe it was exploiting a certain
it's like
exploiting a caricature that we might expect,
right.
But it just based on the precedent we've seen from some of the promos, I don't know if there isn't at least a little bit of, the real Brandy coming out. Like if you mess with her, that's what you're going to get, is that level of intensity. So maybe that accent could be, considered offensive, but it just came off so hot and so like energetic. I mean, that would be like some Meryl Streep, Denzel Washington level acting for her to just flip the switch like that and just, oh my God, this is a whole other person. So that's why I'm not too on board. Like I can see the point of view, but I'm not too on board with that. I think that was just Brandy out there ready to kick ass, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was for both of us our initial reaction. I think when I saw that, then I started seeing other point of views pop up on Twitter that kind of matched Mr. D. So I think I'm pulling back a little bit. I'll say that I'm kind of seeing what at the Mr. D81 is saying. So I
would almost compare it, but in a different way. Like Cody has a very measured delivery when he has his promos. But if he talks fast enough, he can't help it. But like the lisp will come out a little bit more. You can't help it. It's just part of who he is. And I just don't know if part of Brandy, like she just, it's just,
No, it's tough to put a finger on. I wouldn't try to do it because it's something where, like I said before, I think you and I, like, we agreed. We both said, "Wow, that was a great segment." And
I will say it was the opposite of when Charlotte Flair cuts a promo and they're the most measured words that they wrote for me in the back.
That's true. It's way better than Charlotte. So Andre threw out there, why didn't Brandy bring that same fire to Vicky Guerrero last week when she insulted her? She didn't want the smoke then, but she wanted the smoke last night. I mean, again,
I think because she sees Vicky Guerrero, that's not a threat. But Jade, I mean, we know Cody's got tight. I don't know. I think she saw a threat, so she came out there and she was bringing the heat.
I'm gonna say I'll pull back, but it's time, Mike, for you to do your number one. Andre,
that was my moment number one. We don't even have to get away from this. This was my moment number one because I can't wait to see those two women fight. Jade just, much like Andre, she just parachuted in and now just got us to a point where we're talking about it. My God, maybe the women's division finally has a story we can talk about. Maybe something we could sink our teeth into. And yeah, they do have to lean on, one of the, the top heads at AEW to do it. But whew, Brandy got people talking. The commentary table didn't have anything to add for once. It was just a collective. Holy shit. They didn't know what to add. Excalibur had nothing to say. Jim Ross had nothing to say. Shivani was just like, oh, wow. Effa, huh? Woo. So I don't know. I was all in. I liked it a lot. I get some viewpoints maybe being against it, but in the heat of the moment, I don't think Brandy would take it back. I think it helps sell some tickets and get some people to watch that whole division next week. So I think ultimately that's the goal. Get the people talking, and that's what it did. That's moment number one for me.
Well, I'm surprised MJF and the Inner Circle didn't pop in there because we actually did get that's not it. David right there. Why did Wardlow and MJF join the Inner Circle? And I told him actually in the chat. I said I think Mike's going to pick that as his number one segment. So I mean, we just got to throw it out there. I think this is something like the long game that MJF is playing with Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle. I think it can't be ignored, like the battles they got into almost like a year ago, Jericho and MJF, like it was kind of hinted like they wanted to do something together. And all this stuff is just going to lead up to the, like it's just going to disintegrate, right? The Inner Circle is going to end because of this. And I think that's ultimately what needs to happen for all these guys. I think it's run its course. I think Chris Jericho said when he joined AEW, this wasn't a long-term forever thing. And I think AEW eventually needs to start running on the legs of the wrestlers like MJF and Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. And they're not going to do it if they keep holding on to what Chris Jericho's doing on a weekly basis. I mean, the guy's 50 years old now. So it's just, that's the long and short of it right there. So he's got to get some time off. He needs some time to rest. He's been going hard for over a year and doing all of his unsafe COVID concerts. So just think how many times Chris Jericho's had COVID in the last year. So all that rolled together. I'm pretty sure that's why MJF and Wardlow are joining the Inner Circle. So I just wanted to get that out there because Dave, I lied to you. I thought that would be Mike's number one. So we did at least talk about it a little bit.
I'm hoping that in subsequent weeks, I have it's a tougher choice, but I feel like, man, we never get to talk about that women's division in AEW, and they finally give us something. I think what MJF is ultimately going to end up doing is crumbling Inner Circle from the inside, and then I know Jericho gets bored. I think if he looked at somebody like Jeff Hardy, I think Jericho would kill himself. Like, he gets so bored with being the same thing. That's why he's always cutting his hair, redoing his look, changing his character. And I think he kind of sees, Inner Circle, we're getting kind of comfortable. Maybe I'll go babyface, because MJF is maybe the one guy who could get Jericho right now to go from heel to babyface. So that, might be something new that they look at for future pay-per-views. And for some reason, they don't want to give MJF a title belt. So what you do is you just put him in a marquee feud with one of the biggest names in the history of pro wrestling. So that's also a pretty big rub. So I think that's a good idea. And if you're keeping score, MJF did beat Chris Jericho at Full Gear at an event that cost between the two of us buying it and watching it at different houses $120. God damn it! Why didn't we visit each other and save some money?
David, you get the last question of the show, and we'll wrap it up. Can Vicky Guerrero win a title? No. All right, wrap it up. Sorry, Dave. We do have to run. I know we did this to you a couple weeks ago, but we got to go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We are at bodpodcast.com.
Thanksgiving weekend, Matt. Don't forget.
All right. The day before Thanksgiving, we've got our live Zoom thingy where we want all you guys to join in. Let's kind of support the idea of staying home. Let's not go to the bars on the biggest bar night of the year. Let's be safe. Those numbers are probably going to hit 200,000 a day if we don't do something for COVID cases, and that is not good. So let's try and cut back on those numbers. So we're all going to work together here. Go to bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com and look for the links to join. Once you put your name in there, I am personally sending you the invite code to the watch along for NXT and AEW that night, and we'll keep it open, pretty close up until the show starts. So I won't be able to end anybody once 8 o'clock rolls around and we're watching NXT and AEW. But I know how plans are for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So no worries if you can't do this right away. But we greatly appreciate the that support. We want to talk with you guys, want to hang out, and that'll be the best way for us to do it. Find us on Twitter at bodpodcast.com. Instagram is at brothers_of_discussion. And we have the YouTube channel that, Andre, you were wonderful enough to join and watch the show from there. So I really appreciate that. I can't tell you enough because we're trying to grow those numbers there and get the videos out. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you next week. And again, at our live viewing party, not in 1 week, but in 2 Wednesdays. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Number 3, my lord. There you go.
All right. Bye, everybody.